Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Newsbeat. My name is Kenneth. Jesse, let's take a look at our top stories this afternoon. The Commissioner for Human Rights and Administrative Justice demands amendment of Ghana's Criminal and Offences Act to criminalize torture as Ghana joins the rest of the world to commemorate the International Day in support of victims of torture. The Ghana Police Service commences investigations into the mysterious death of Deputy Director of the Ghana Revenue Authority in the Brame Central Municipality. Coming up in sports, Accra Hearts of Oak hopes to make it 2 in a row as they lock horns with Bechem United in the final of the MTN FA Cup later today. And later on the international front, we'll take you to Ukraine, where at least 5 people have been wounded after a residential building in central Kyiv was targeted. Details are coming up shortly. Stay with us. Let's now settle for the details as the Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has expressed displeasure at the rate at which river bodies in the country have been polluted by illegal miners and other human activities. The Vice President was speaking at this year's Ohum 2022 homecoming at Chebi in the Eastern region.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we pledge this day to continue the tradition of our ancestors in keeping our environment safe and clean, we should reflect on the current sorry state of the Birim River, the pride of Ochima. Today in Ghana, our rivers are polluted with an alarming carelessness. It is either we have farmed or built so close to the riverbanks, callously polluted the rivers with activities of galamsey, or encroach the river path for human settlement. These activities expose the waters to all forms of pollution. To overcome this canker of environmental degradation, pollution requires the commitment of everyone, including the government. In times past, communal labor and volunteerism were effective avenues used by Nananom and local authorities to deal with issues of filth in our neighborhoods. This noble initiative and activity, however, seems to be lost on us these days. I implore Nananom to work collaboratively with the local administrative authorities to rekindle the communal spirit to help deal with filth in our society.
Meanwhile, the Ochihene Amotia Oforipenyi II is urging government to, as a matter of urgency, pull the brakes on such distractions, which is negatively affecting the environment.
We are Vice President can say, Ampa, Omaka so here, we need to make and in the end, the Fatano. Obey no say so, no say assassin. Ampo. Esikafu ene obi a yesensu enfa no otumi to botiki bi kura didware esikafu no enti bremu say a ebi enfa no ni o sika so pa na bibi a ba fa organic farming otumi dua e no ba wo ne dan echi ama ne tomatoes ni ade bia na chemicals bia ni no adi no nyame pese ye nyina ti bibi asenti no Obi any wo betumi ato no nko an ne frama ohome. Enti wo sika sen. Na wo se ne ekoso de afa ho a. Utu kwan a. Obi fi baabi. Not to unchen pray, no de yare no asaw. E frama mu. Enu ti ase nipa nyina ti ase se. Bra ye besu ya ha eye asase so a ye no planet Earth. Na nye nipa fia. And I hear mu. I hear the political boundaries. Where's my far? You're from Uganda. Where's my fra? You're from Ghana. Yani sir. But when you're many nature, I train the bias in any perfia. And can yes, sir. Obi to me COVID Namboni be war, Hunan, China. Then I'm not we and yet to Chibia and the area beside. And from Menti. And they say, Swia, who say, any fear. Na ye mo ba na ne de amayeno adukuti ebi kwanim si ebi ni se ebi hwe so yie ebi hihye ya ho de yie ho ne ma no ekwakire ebi wadwempa oman no mumre no awasase no emre no wom no on di so Ghana hamra na ho no esi edi so oman panyin ne mpanyifo aye mra afa Ghana nyina ho esi se ye di so eno ye mra mpanyi ayo. And yes, I want Onyame ayo the rule of nature. No dear Onyame mra. Say we are need baby dem amunyina. Mo hwe so yie fa mo ho ban. Na mo anya asem ebetum. Any moment yes, let's say dey hum dey. Sustainable development na ye kan kire say. Ye ma hote na ye respect it. Ye mu Onyame and near my or the mine never so here.
All right, so that was the Ochehini Amotia Oforipenyi II urging government to pull the brakes on illegal mining activities in the country. Now, as Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, health experts are aiming at spreading awareness about the physical and psychological impact of substance abuse, drug overdose deaths, and drugs-related problems across the globe. Drug abuse remains one of the biggest threats to health and society in general. It's one of the major issues that the world is struggling with and which needs to be completely eliminated from the society. Every year, the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking is observed on 26th June. The main aim of this day is to spread awareness about the physical and psychological impact of substance abuse, drug overdose deaths, and drug-related problems. Now, this year, the theme for the day is addressing drug challenges in health and humanitarian crisis. So I've been joined by Jamilatu Hussein Bansia. She is a psychiatric nurse specialist at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. Madam, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Why do people still abuse drug despite knowing the health challenges it comes with? Hello, Jamilatu, can you hear me? Hello, Jamila?
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
I believe you heard my question.
No, please. Kindly
Why do people
come again.
still abuse drugs despite knowing the health challenges it comes with?
Thank you, and good afternoon to your viewers. I'm privileged to be given this opportunity. Yes, people would still want to abuse drugs despite these challenges because they have no control over their actions. Addiction is a chronic disease, and when it affects you, it affects the part of the brain that controls your actions, your decision makings, your judgment. So, and it becomes something that the brain is used to. The moment the brain doesn't get it, it continuously asks for it. So the person, even though the individual realizes or sees that I have a problem, I'm developing cirrhosis of the liver, I am hallucinating, I can't sleep, but the demands of the drug far outweighs these consequences. The person cannot deal with the withdrawals, the pain when it comes, so would still have to go in for the drug, right, despite the knowledge that it's causing all these side effects.
Right. One worrying trend we're seeing these days is the abuse of drug among children. You see children as young as 15, 14, 13 abusing drugs. What has caused this?
So true. In my earlier submission, I made mention of the part of the brain we call the prefrontal cortex. Now, what happens is that this part develops gradually until an individual is 18 years or 25 years. That is when it is fully developed. So it becomes more worrying or dangerous in children because it is not properly developed or well developed. So the moment the child is exposed to drugs, it spoils the prefrontal cortex way before it even develops. So one, the person gets addicted and the probability of us getting the person out of this disease is low. The prognosis, even if you're able to get the person out, the prognosis is very poor.
Right.
That makes it worrying and very scary in children.
Okay. We've seen a lot of people die from abuse of drugs. We've seen famous people all over the world die from the abuse of drugs.
Yes.
How do people come out of being addicted to drugs?
So largely, being addicted to drugs, I'll blame myself as an individual, the community, and then the family at large, and then our schools. Even though some are exposed to drugs through no fault of theirs, some are addicted because they underwent surgery, delivery, they were in pain, and then doctor prescribed a certain medication for them, which is addictive. And then, Ghana, we don't have strict control over prescription drugs. You go anywhere, you can easily have access to the drug and buy. And so these people end up being addicted to such drugs. Others also get addicted because they have seen parents modeling. Parents will take children out and they buy a beer, chilled beer, put it on the table, and buy malt for the kid. So the children observe parents role modeling, and then they also pick it up. They think it is normal, it is good. If my parents are doing it, why can't I do it?
Right.
Again, in school, our children are told that if you take marijuana, you become smart. I believe you have heard it before. You'll be able to learn hard. You become the first class student. And this is a myth. They actually believe it and then follow it up before they realize they are addicted.
Right. What would you tell a 21-year-old boy or girl who started abusing drugs at the age of 14, who now wants to stop but doesn't know how?
Good. So first off, the person should know that all of us, the society should know that it is not a moral deviation, because that is a challenge we are faced with as addiction specialists. You go out and they tell you the person wanted it, so we don't care. Just like hypertension and diabetes, it is a disease and it is chronic. It has come in to stay, but the person can find recovery and do well if we all come together to give the person the necessary support. So first off, the 21-year-old should be reassured that it is a disease. The person can get well and thrive well and do well in the society. And second off, the person should be willing to seek for the help, because yes, some get to know, but they are afraid to come for treatment because of stigma. The person should know that we don't stigmatize in our various facilities. He should be willing to come for treatment. And then after treatment, the instructions given, he or she should be willing to follow the instructions and be ready to help others as well come on board.
Right. Jamilatu Hussein, thank you very much for speaking to us this afternoon. Let's move away from that as the Brim Central Municipal Deputy Ghana Revenue Authority Director in the Eastern Region, Richard Frimpong, has met his untimely death as his car drowned in Boti River at Ochimoda. According to eyewitnesses, the unfortunate incident happened when the victim wasn't driving at top speed, but his car took a sharp turn into the river along the road. They added that it took a while for the people who could swim got to the scene of the accident. He died on the spot after he was rescued from his car. The police has since commenced investigations into the incident. From one unfortunate incident to the other, this time to Gomoa, where one person has died, while another is battling for her life after a Kia Rhino truck with registration number GW 561-11 lost control and ran into them at Gomoa Apra in the Gomoa East District of the Central Region.
According to residents of Gomoa Apra, the death of 15-year-old Dinah Aqua brings to 12 the number of children that have died at the abandoned Stone Quarry site. 2 weeks ago, a 70-year-old teenager who had gone to the abandoned pit to swim also drowned. Residents are worried that authorities have turned a deaf ear to the situation while innocent lives continue to be lost. But for the driver's mate of the Kia Rhino water tanker with registration number GW56111, he said his boss lost control of the vehicle while descending the hill to fetch water from the abandoned pit, killing one instantly and injuring another in the process.
The
children were fetching water from the stream when I fell. I did not see them. So when the truck fell in the water, we were calling for help to get the truck out. We did not notice when the truck went that far and hitting the children in the process.
For these residents, the continuous neglect on the part of authorities in closing down the abandoned pit is worrying.
When I arrived at the scene, I noticed the truck was on the child in the stream, so I helped to push the truck to the other side before we managed to take the child out. What I heard is that the children were two in the stream. We managed to save one, but the other one unfortunately died.
The body of 15-year-old Diana Aqua has been deposited at the St. Gregory Catholic Hospital morgue.
Let's move on as the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice is demanding amendment of Ghana's Criminal and Offences Act to criminalize torture. The UN International Day in support of victims of torture on 26th June marks the moment in 1987 when the UN Convention Against Torture and other cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment, one of the key instruments in fighting torture, came into effect. Since its inception in 1987, 171 countries, including Ghana, have become parties to the Convention Against Torture and other cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment, which is inspired by Article 5 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and its core tenet. Additionally, the 1992 Constitution provides in Article 15 that no person shall, whether or not he is arrested, restricted or detained, be subjected to torture or cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment or any other condition that detracts or is the use of torture and cruelty to prisoners, reinforcing Ghana's consistent constitutional prohibition. Newsbeat will return after this break. Hello again. Now, an international humanitarian agency, Catholic Relief Service, in collaboration with the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, has launched a citywide sanitation plan for the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly. The move is geared towards improving sanitation in the northern region. Our correspondent Alhassan Dibaba was at the launch and has come through with a fuller report.
Poor sanitation and waste management have become a major challenge for authorities in the northern regional capital of Tamale due to the growing population and consequently increased waste generation. The city, which used to pride itself as the cleanest city in Ghana, has since fallen from its lofty position. Indiscriminate dumping and open defecation have become the order of the day. To improve sanitation in the area, the Catholic Relief Service, in collaboration with government, has laid down a groundwork for Ghana's first financially sustainable watershed protection program known as the Tamale Water Fund. Once established, it would help source clean, reliable, natural water sources for the people of Tamale and its environs. All these initiatives, according to the organization, are geared towards the achievement of SDG Goals 6 and 11 by 2030. The Metropolitan Chief Executive of Tamale, Sule Salifo, has been speaking about the importance of the collaboration.
The citywide sanitation plan serves as a reference document that maps out the sanitation needs within the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly with carefully thought through interventions to address these sanitation challenges to improve the sanitation output for the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, which seeks to achieve the SDG 6 and 11. This is in line with the mission statement of the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, which seeks to enhance the quality of life of the people of the metropolis by facilitating the maintenance of law and order and mobilizing the physical and financial resources to provide quality socio-economic services, especially in education, agriculture, water and sanitation, and health, in collaboration with other development partners and in conformity with broad national policies.
On her part, the country director of CRS, Helen Reyes, explained the key role sanitation practices play in a healthy living.
The sanitation plan provides a comprehensive blueprint for the management of urban sanitation in Tamale Metropolis, and it will be a key roadmap to achieving SDG 3, which, as you know, aims to provide safe, adequate, equitable, and sustainable sanitation for everyone in an urban area, paying special attention to the needs of the poor, marginalized, and of women and girls.
Well, COVID-19 is in the news again because our cases keep going up by the day. And as of today, the active cases in the country is 1,417. We've had 232 new cases, 164,843 total confirmed cases. Sadly, we have lost 1,448 people to COVID-19. 161,978 people have recovered from the disease. Now, the Ghana Medical Association and the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association are unhappy with the reluctancy among health workers to take the COVID-19 jab. Figures from the association says 40% of health professionals have not received the second dose of the vaccine.
This came to light at a press conference organized to give their perspective on vaccine hesitancy in Ghana. Addressing a press conference, President of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Serebour, disclosed that among health workers, it is estimated that 40% have not received the second dose of vaccination, while less than 1% have received booster doses.
These developments are worrying, especially concerning health workers. This is because health workers, particularly doctors, nurses, and midwives, are not only on the front line of care, but remain the most trusted sources of information and access to vaccination. For this reason, the GMA, GRNMA, and the Health Promotion Division of the Ghana Health Service have come together with the aim of addressing hesitancy among healthcare workers and the general population.
The president of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Perpetua Oloforiampofo, said the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association and the Ghana Medical Association has taken notice of the recent increase in COVID-19 cases, especially in the Greater Accra region, Eastern region, and the Western region.
In June 2022, according to the Ghana Health Service, were about 1,064 cases, with 8 being severe and 1 being critical. As of today, 20th June 2022, the active cases has risen to 1,255 cases. This tells us that the numbers are going up, isn't it? And there is need for us all to be concerned.
She said the preventive protocols are still necessary and vital in reducing COVID-19 infections among Ghanaians and appealed to all Ghanaians to observe them.
Away from COVID, inadequate potable water is impacting healthcare and education in some communities in the Volta region and the Eastern region. Residents of Dansukrom in the Sujaman district, Akploti in South Ton district, and Batakope in Upper Menya district are the most affected.
For these residents, water is a prized commodity. They struggle daily and what they access impacts negatively on their health. Dansumankrom, Akploti, and Batakope are communities struggling to access potable water. School children report to school late, struggling daily in search of the commodity. Recognizing the effect on education and health, the Volta River Authority has, through its social corporate responsibility, provided a solar-powered borehole for the communities. Corporate Social Responsibility Manager at V committed to supporting deprived communities based.
Experts say, and I think it's true, that if you go to all hospitals in the world put together today, 50% of people who are sick and are lying on hospital beds are suffering from water-related diseases. So providing good water means that you're trying to get 50% of people who are already in the hospital to get well and come home. BRA also acknowledges that a more sustainable way is not for people to get sick and go to the hospital, but it's for people to live healthy right from the beginning. We believe that a healthy community is a productive community.
The district chief executive for Upper Manya, Joe Sam, said the provision of the facility will go a long way in improving healthcare.
Of Upper Manya have yet another success story of the high support and solidarity between the Volta River Authority and the District Assembly, the international councils. It is important because the lives of women and children, especially in Batakope, will improve by this solar-powered water facility. For it is said, water is life. The role of the Volta River Authority in development of our district since its inception cannot be overemphasized. Mention can be made of the support given to the health and educational sectors in terms of medical supplies and scholarships packages.
The solar-powered mechanized borehole contains 9 taps, which are powered by a solar plant.
Right, and officers of the Ghana Immigration Service have been advised to invest wisely. The advice was given at a seminar organized to sensitize and help them plan towards a better retirement.
The seminar on retirement planning and investment for officers of the wager sector of the Ghana Immigration Service was organized by the command to sensitize them on how to plan towards their retirement. Speaking to Metro News, Chief Superintendent Richard Kofi, commander of the wager sector of the Ghana Immigration Service, bemoaned some negative lifestyles such as excessive alcohol intake and betting, saying such attitudes demoralize officers and renders them unhealthy and unfit for the service. He said betting in particular puts a strain on the finances of officers, making it difficult for them to plan effectively.
Betting is placing pressure on the income of people because as they bet and they lose, they can't plan or save for their retirement. And as they also engage in betting, it puts pressure on them. Some of them now become depressed because a lot of their money have gone into betting and they've not been able to recoup or gain from the betting that they have engaged in.
Chief Superintendent Kofi also urged them to seek professional advice before making any financial investment.
What I want to tell officers is that when they are doing investment or they want to enter into any form of investment with some of these institutions, they should do due diligence. They should try to seek more advice about some of these companies. They shouldn't just jump in and then invest.
Facilitator of the seminar and investment advisor suggested to financial investors to always exercise vigilance before signing on to any investment scheme.
As for investments, they come with risk, but there are things that you can do. Ensure that the institution that you are putting your investments or placing your funds with are regulated. So for fund management institutions, we are regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. If it's a banking institution, they should be regulated by the Bank of Ghana.
Let's talk bilateral relations as the First Lady of Bahamas, Anne-Marie Davis, says she is looking forward to strengthening the bilateral relations between the people from Ahanta in the Western region, as well as explore its educational purposes in the region. She made a statement when she visited some historic sites in the country.
The First Lady and her entourage first visited the Independence Square at Osu, where they were told by the guides about the importance of the Independence Square to the national life of Guineans. From there, together with the Western Regional Minister and Ahanta chiefs and Queen Mothers of Ahanta, they visited the newly refurbished National Museum, where tour guides took her and the entourage through historical antecedents of pre-colonial Gold Coast, colonial Gold Coast and Ghana after independence. Western Regional Minister Kobio Trudako and some chiefs mentioned that her visit to the country is significant for the Ahantas in the Western region.
Bahamas is one of the countries that controls about 5 million tourist arrivals in their country. Okay? 2, when we come to the issue of financial services in the world, Bahamas is one of them. In fact, 50% of their GDP is generated through tourism. And for us in the Western region, we want to be the #1 tourism destination in Ghana. 2019 we beat Ashanti, so we plan to beat Central Region in 2022-23, and therefore such interactions add up to the effort that we are putting in to make the Western Region the #1 tourism destination.
The masquerading was a type of dress the hunters wear during their war, and so the people remembering themselves from where they came from always paraded that type of cloth, and so it has become a festival in the Caribbean, especially the Bahama people. And no, it's all the Caribbeans. And that they've identified themselves with the masquerading. But they have named that festival John Cow Festival. So these people, upon their research, countless times, came to identify themselves with the real place where that festival comes from, and that is Ahanta.
Her Excellency Anne-Marie Davis says her visit is to strengthen ties between both countries.
It's because of the discovery of where our Junkanoo first started in Princestown here in Ghana in the Ahanta region, and also who started it. So we can have more celebrations to celebrate that beginning and how it expanded, not only in the Bahamas, but in other parts of the Caribbean. It might be called something different, but it's basically Junkanoo, the art form, the music, and the thinking behind what caused the Junkanoo to start in the first place. So it's that type of education, historical mainly, and cultural as well.
Other places she visited included Artistic Center at Osu, where she was shown various artworks by prominent Ghanaian artists and other artists from Africa.
Now, the wife of the Vice President, Samira Bawumia, has called on educational stakeholders to inculcate in pupils the habit of reading. She said there's an urgent need to sharpen the literary skills of pupils for the purposes of their future. She was speaking at a ceremony that saw several schools obtaining readable materials from the Samira Empowerment and Humanitarian Projects in Kaswa. Our regional correspondent in the Central Region, Akwesiado, has more.
In all, about 6 schools selected from the Wutu Singa East and other municipalities benefited from the gesture as they received several readable materials for pupils at the basic level. Speaking at the ceremony, Second Lady Samira Bawumia mentioned that The library, a box project which is undertaken by the Samira Empowerment and Humanitarian Projects, has since seen about 200,000 books distributed amongst 68 basic schools across the country. The second lady, Samira Bawumia, whilst calling on educational stakeholders to imbibe in peoples the habit of reading, also urged the peoples to love reading in order to sharpen their literary skills. She asked teachers not to keep the books but make it available for pupils in order to fully realize the intent of the project.
To the teachers and the heads of institutions, please, these books are not for display. I don't want to come back and they are new and they are not worn out. It means the children are not reading the books. I want you to share it with them, to read it with them, to create library space, to create reading time for them. So that if it's even 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they can read and learn about things and improve their literary skills.
Meanwhile, Chief of Opekuma, Nai Opei Mensah, bemoaned the poor nature of the Kaswa Opekuma road, saying the situation has caused drivers to charge peoples exorbitant fares, serving as a disincentive to many peoples. He also expressed worry about the activity of quarry operators in the area. He said open pit created by operators put people at risk, as several peoples have already fallen victims. He wants authorities to, as a matter of urgency, find remedies to these problems.
Newsbeat returns after this break. Welcome back. Business News is next. In business today, the president of Traders Advocacy Group, Kwejo Amwatin, has reiterated the need for government to look at possible ways of empowering local traders for them to be able to compete with their foreign counterparts in the country, particularly with the existence of the African Continental Free Trade Area. He said this on the sidelines of the unveiling of Diana Hamilton as the brand ambassador of Property Electronics.
Property Electronics is a registered company in Ghana that deals in consumer electronics for homes, offices, churches, and others. The company prides itself in durable, affordable, and high-quality electronics such as fridges, freezers, air conditioners, irons, blenders, amongst others. Multiple award-winning Ghanaian gospel artist Diana Hamilton was on Friday, June 24, unveiled as the brand ambassador for the electronics giant. The partnership, according to the officials of the company, would help promote the products as well as assist in various social responsibility programs as Diana Hamilton takes over the ambassadorial position of the brand. Speaking at the ceremony, a representative of Property Electronics, Yvonne Osei, explained the rationale behind the choice of Diana Hamilton as the brand ambassador.
We are happy to have Mrs. Diana Hamilton as our brand ambassador. She has a strong and solid, long-lasting brand, just like all property electronic devices. It is our fervent belief and expectation to have a long-lasting partnership with Mrs. Diana Hamilton.
Now, an expert in the housing sector has indicated that in order for Ghana to bridge the housing deficit gap, all stakeholders, including government, would have to deliberate to find a lasting solution to this old age problem.
According to data from the Ghana Statistical Service on housing in this country, the national housing deficit has reduced by 33% from a previous 2.8 million to 1.8 million in the last 50 years. This, according to the Statistical Service, points to possibly some interventions from the government and the private sector. Although this may come as comforting news, there's more that needs to be done to resolve the situation. Speaking to Metro News, Ian Morrison, the managing director of Trasaco, called for a collaborative effort to resolve the situation.
I think it's not an issue that can be fixed by one company at all. It's a very large issue that we need to work together with all the stakeholders in the whole industry. and even outside. So we need government, we need the developers, we need the banks, and everyone needs to work together to get a product that is actually really affordable to the average Ghanaian. Not some $50,000, $100,000 houses, but houses that are down at $20,000, $25,000 with a plot that's expandable, that it can suit the needs of the people who are going to buy them and allow them to expand that house as they become a bit more wealthy and as a bit more time goes on. So it needs to be a design that can accommodate that. It needs to have assistance from government, maybe with land banks, with making sure there aren't any issues to do with the land.
He further disclosed some plans his outfit has put in place over the years to resolve the situation.
I think, we've tried to push the envelope in terms of housing and housing quality as far forward as we can. I think some of the things that we've introduced over the years have really made maybe some design difference to Accra, to the city itself. I mean, this project for one. And I think we've always tried to sort of be a bit innovative in the use of materials and bringing in new technologies, new use of materials to always improve the quality and the deliverability of the houses.
Okay. Sports news is next. Defending champions of the MTN FA Cup, Accra Hearts of Oak will hope to make up for their poor finishing in the Premier League when they play Bechem United in the final of the competition at the Barbara Sports Stadium. Chairman of the MTN FA Cup Committee, Arthur Wilson, hopes to see the best of everything later today.
In terms of form guide, you might think that Bechem, having finished third, given their pedigree, they may have an edge, but trust me, Accra House of Oak is Accra House of Oak. Accra House of Oak is Accra House of Oak. So we have a massive match to watch. I can't, if you tell me, I mean, if I'm somebody, I don't predict, and I can't even predict, because this one will go to the cliffhanger. It won't be an easy match. It's going to be a thriller, real thriller, Camely, because we are playing a curtain raiser. At 2 p.m. immediately after Magic starts, and come with your phone, because there will be a lot of credits out for grabs, fastest fingers. There's a lot to win, there's a lot to celebrate, there's a lot to enjoy.
And the match starts at exactly 3 p.m. today. Away from that, Parliament's Sports, Youth and Culture Committee will complete its report on the Black Stars' abysmal performance at the January Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. This comes after the committee yesterday met Captain Andre Dede Ayew, Vice Chairman on the committee, Eugene Boachientri, says it will be meeting other stakeholders very soon.
Abysmal performance of the Black Stars at the 2021 AFCON, which was held in Cameroon earlier this year. The Speaker directed that the Sports and Youth Committee in Parliament should invite the leadership of the team and also the captain of the Black Stars to have a conversation with him on how it all went down in Cameroon. Yesterday, the skipper of the team, in the person of the Dayu, met the committee. We are here with the leadership or one of the leaders of the committee to have a conversation with here this afternoon. Hello, sir, you're welcome.
Thank you. I mean, first and foremost, I'll say that I'm the vice chairman of the newly reconstituted Youth, Sports and Culture Committee of Ghana's Parliament. Honorable Kweku Ajenim Boateng, MP for Bricum West, is the chairman. Yes, we rightly said our invitation to Captain Andre Ayew is a sequel to directive given to the Youth and Sports Committee then, which was under a different leadership, to investigate the abysmal performance of the Black Stars in the just ended AFCON tournament. We have taken over as the new leadership. Like I said, the committee has been reconstituted. So according to what we saw, the Black Stars captain wasn't available at the time, to appear before the committee. So we felt that we had to hear from him. So we gave, he is in the country, or he was in the country. We were told he was leaving either last night or tonight. I'm not too sure. So we had to find space to meet him for us to come and tell us precisely one-to-one. And I said the discussions or the conversation that went on cannot be discussed on air. I mean, it's a parliamentary report, and we have to present it to plenary. So that was that. So when he came, he also told us basically what transpired there. And we are going to put a report together for Ghana's parliament to debate and make necessary recommendations to the FA. And in due course, we will be meeting the FA too. They are pretty busy at the moment, but in a short time, we are going to meet them to also, listen to their side of the story.
Entertainment news is next. Award-winning Ghanaian singer Fameye has revealed that the new sound found on his latest album, Songs of Peter, is as a result of him growing as a musician and getting enlightened about his style of music. According to him, he wants to make evergreen songs not only for today but for the future.
Music has not been changed. I just found something better that I can do with myself and my music, you understand? So, and I'm just growing. I'm not rebranding or, so you understand? So I have not changed personally, my lifestyle, nothing has changed. But I'm more enlightened about my music and my career and where I want to take my life and music career to. It's not just about today. I think about tomorrow. So my album, it be special, and it has a lot of reasons. And go feel happy for you right now. If I catch Peter down, because right now you are talking to Peter, not Fameye, you understand? And it will take time for people to understand who Peter is. Because Fameye was way different, More people know Fameye for Ghana, you understand? But a lot of people don't know Peter. I stand to be corrected. Perhaps it's true, perhaps it's not true. Because for me, I think TikTok never told when you understand. It can't meet the music industry, and it could have been said in a nicer way, but it's cool. For me, I'm doing my thing with or without TikTok, and if they support, yeah, I'm grateful. Why not? Because it's a bonus. It will promote my brand and all of that. But
Now, the kingmakers of Englishi Amanfro are unhappy that the father of Shatta Wale, Charles Ni Akrama Mensah, is holding himself as divisional chief in the area. The traditional authorities have therefore issued a stern warning to Shatta Kapo, as he is called, to desist from claiming that he is a chief in the area. This follows how Shatta Wale's father's name appeared in an obituary of his wife, Stella Gasu, as divisional chief of Englishi Amanfro, with a stool name Nyomo Bie II. Commenting on the issue during an interview, the Mankralo of Englishi Amanfro Ni Kwashe Ama IV revealed that Ni Akrama, which is Shatta Wale's father, was once taken to court to sign a statement of caution to stop parading himself as chief, yet he has refused to comply. International news is next. Now, several explosions are heard in Kyiv Central, the first time missiles hit the capital since early this month. Leaders from the Group of Seven gather for a meeting in Germany where they're expected to announce a ban on Russia's gold imports, U.S. President Joe Biden has said. Russia's defense ministry says it has used high-precision weapons to strike Ukrainian army training centers. My name is Kenneth. That'll be it for now. Thanks for watching.